Hello and welcome to Manga Toaru 96, and today we're going to talk about Toaru Majutsu no Indeks. It's time to talk about some teachers. Considering that there are a lot of schools in Academy City, it is no wonder there are a lot of educators whose job is to educate all those countless students. That way, we have a lolly teacher who smokes more than a locomotive and taking his students to her home like she would stray cats. A PA teacher whose motto is tough love, which is quite understandable considering whose legal guardian she is. And lastly, a dorm supervisor whose name is unknown, but what is known is that she is Kuroko's nightmare. I'm of course talking about Tsukuyomi Komoe, Yomikawa Aiho, and the Tokiwadai dorm supervisor. But before we start, here's the spoiler warning, as I'll be spoiling a lot of things in this video, so if you don't want to be spoiled, I would highly recommend that you go and read the light novel, as it is an enjoyable read. For everyone else, let's start with who the lolly teacher is. Tsukuyomi Komoe is the homeroom teacher of Year 1, Class 7 at a certain high school. Although looking like a 12-year-old child, she is one of the oldest adults known in the series. Beyond both her childish appearance and her demeanor lies a very competent teacher who cares for her students and one of the few characters who knows Toma well enough before his memory loss. Despite her childish appearance, childish voice, and often childish mannerisms, it is evident that she is an adult by the fact that her apartment is littered with beer cans, cigarettes, and neuropsychology books. She is also allowed to drive despite her short stature. Komoe is such a heavy smoker that Yomikawa Aiho, also a heavy smoker, a friend and colleague of hers, states that Komoe smokes 5 times as she does. She contradicts her age sometimes by acting in a childish manner towards her students and having a childlike crush on Toma. Though, despite her looks, she hates people mentioning the word smile to her, yet likes people to call her cute. According to style, Komoe's personality is much akin to that of Indeks. A petite figure, extremely naive, one who gets angry for others' sakes, one who cries for others' sakes, one who has magical knowledge but is unable to use magic. The tearful look when she was dyed in other people's blood was exactly the same. Despite being a heavy smoker herself, Komoe scolds style for smoking, apparently knowing full well he is underage. She is a highly competent teacher, being a teacher of chemistry, an expert in pyrokinesis, as well as being knowledgeable in the area of the Pyroku curriculum program, personal reality, and Esper development. However, Komoe knows when not to pry on the affairs of others, especially regarding her students if they choose not to talk it out with her, even if it's her responsibility as a teacher and an adult. She is somehow fond of taking on students with no place to go, to reasoning that is because of her soul as an educator, such as Himagimi Asiya until she moves into a dormitory later in the series, and Musajima Awaki. In fact, it has been stated that she actually goes out of her way to go to places where runaway girls go to allow them to live in her place as freeloaders. Even in the first arc, Komoe allows Indeks and Toma to stay in her home without hassle. This may be slightly correlated to the fact that the freeloaders who live in her apartment end up cooking for her, making her feel like royalty in the process. She is also passionate about teaching but has a weakness, that weakness being the fact that she will extremely dejected whenever she feels she has lost an opportunity to teach others. Like when she is told Toma is ignoring her lessons, crying before the entire class. She also threatens her students to learn occasionally, as she has punishment games for classes when they must play and win 10 rounds of poker in a row while being blindfolded. This is also shown in volume 9 when she wanted to teach Indeks how to use chopsticks. As for her past, very little is known about her. What is known about her is that she properly graduated from a university and then turned up in Academy City. Accelerator, upon meeting Komoe, concludes that she may be the result of the research to slow down cell aging, apparently 250-year method. While Last Order hypothesized that Komoe may have been captured the rumors regarding research to slow down cell aging. It is unknown whether or not those hypothesis has any basis. Komoe also knows Toma very well and states in her own words that he was a naughty boy when he enrolled and a lot of things have happened. She also states later on that she likes him, though she tries to take it back and states that she likes teaching him. Due to her short stature and apparent fact that she is of legal age, Komoe has her own custom car that allows her to drive it through the use of the buttons and a joystick. As for her abilities, Komoe is apparently a normal human and not an Esper, which allowed her to cast magic. She has magical knowledge which allows her to perform the magic healing ritual that Indeks taught her during the arc. It is the only spell she knows, where, despite her knowledge, she needs assistance of an actual magician for her to perform the spell. Apart from that, she is knowledgeable in the Esper-related things and is a major in pyrokinesis. Komoe can apparently control her internal clock, which is so perfect that she doesn't see the need of having any digital nor mechanical watch. Moving on to Yomikawa. Yomikawa Aiho is a PA teacher at a certain high school and is a good friend with fellow teacher Tsukuyomi Komoe. She is also a member of Anti-Skill. She cares for the well-being of children even if they are criminals and absolutely believes that she will not use a weapon on children. She is also the current legal guardian of Accelerator, Last Order and Misaka Worst. Aiho has a kind and caring nature that extends to her job as Anti-Skill and is most especially apparent with children, which she has promised to herself never to turn a weapon on them. However, her love more or less encompasses violence that an old generation PA teacher like her will execute. She takes her job seriously and often berates her junior, Tesso, she doesn't do her job properly on patrols. Due to her habit of ramming delinquents with protective items like shields or helmets to resolve incidents, saying it's alright to do since those are protective items, she is known as the woman who makes the serious comical. Out of the job, she is very cheerful and enjoys beers, eat-outs and public baths with friends, apparently willing to go become pass-out drunk in public. She also enjoys teasing Komoe as if she was a child. She also believes that there is no shame in showing her naked body to teenagers like Accelerator since they are still children. This was shown when he walked in on her, Last Order and Yoshikawa Kyoko showering. They didn't feel embarrassed one bit and acted casual about it since they believed that he was still a child and that they were adults and it was okay. She also has a tendency of going on cleaning sprees when upset, which ends up making her do the reckless things like losing her keys. As for her past, not much is known about her past, but it has been shown that she is a good friend with Yoshikawa Kyoko, to the point that she can ask Aiho to take care of 2 children for her, as well as take her in. It is implied that Aiho has done something terrible for her to warrant not to use a weapon at a child even if they were Espers, but it's unknown what had happened. She took to the task to join Anti-Skill at the same time as Tokiwadai dorm supervisor, but both ended up failing to complete the test by beating up all the instructors. While Yomikawa managed to pass by apologizing, the dorm supervisor gave up on joining. But due to being disappointment in the instructors and because she thought herself more suited to protect a single place, she leaves in instead of the entire city. At some point before the series began, Aiho and her team dismantled the Special Ability Institution, the place where Accelerator was until he was 9. She lives in the family site and is a teacher in a certain high school where she teaches a class full of elites which is just next door to Komoe's class. As for her abilities, as a member of Anti-Skill, she is trained in basic combat training, being able to take down thugs unarmed, as well as being capable of using various firearms. She also knows how to operate power suits. However, her greatest attribute is her ability to use community-like methods to solve problems that could end up as a tragedy, using shields or other non-weapons objects to take down rampaging Espers. Moving on to Tokiwadai's Housemaster. The Tokiwadai's dorm supervisor or Tokiwadai's Housemaster is the unnamed Housemaster of the Tokiwadai middle school dormitory that Misaka Mikoto and Shire Kuroko reside in. As the Housemaster of Tokiwadai dorm, she is very strict and has zero tolerance for Espers who do not follow rules for any reason whatsoever. She also has no qualms in assaulting the students who are troublemakers by snapping their necks and making them faint, though only Kuroko seems to receive this treatment. Generally, she has good command on the residents of the dormitory as well as the children of Asunaru Park. When volunteering for work in Asunaru Park, she shows great affection for children who reside there and is very easily approachable, a stark contrast to her nature as the housemaster of the Tokiwadai dormitory. She also shows great affection for Daigo, another volunteer in Asunaru Park, where she can get easily flustered and embarrassed when he is near her. As for her past, she attempted to join anti-skill in the past at the same time as Yomikawa Aiho, but both ended up failing to complete the test by beating up all the instructors. While Yomikawa managed to pass by apologizing, the housemaster gave up on joining, both due to being disappointment in her instructors and because she thought herself more suited to protect a single place she lives in instead of the entire city. Besides being the housemaster of Tokiwadai dormitory, she also volunteers at Asunaru Park, an establishment that caters for the welfare of child heirs, and will go there every time she has break from her duties. As for her abilities, she has no Esper abilities, though she is capable of stunning an Esper by simply snapping their necks as demonstrated by Kuroko. She can easily avoid Shokuho's metal out from a distance. In the side story of the manga, she was able to take down several members of the elite Hound Dog with relative ease, much to their bewilderment. With this, I covered everything that I wanted to cover on Tsukuyomi, Yomikawa and Tokiwadai's Housemaster. And that'll be all for this video. If you like this video, leave a like, leave your thoughts in the comments below, or subscribe to the channel for more manga reviews and One Piece content. And until next time, take care.